So let's go straight into topic 7. We got one for today because we got a lot of great people here, so we got to talk to them. All right, so you guys ready for topic segment?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so the first and the only one we got for today is, how do you guys, okay, wow, really? You have to go there, right? Always him. Anyways, I know, right? Pretty much. How do you guys feel about the stimulus check and unemployment? Who wants to go first with that one?
I think I'll address that if I may.
Okay.
This is Curtis Harris. Once again, the stimulus check is not enough. The debating 600, 2,000. Actually, 2,000 is not enough.
Exactly.
You know, people are hurting. This pandemic has taken this world by storm. And that's going to be one of my #1 priorities once elected, and that's COVID-19 relief. You know, we have people that are housing insecure right now. We have people that are food insecure, and we have people that are, you know, job insecure. You know, people have lost their jobs at no fault of their own. And I want to emphasize, at no fault of their own. So we have to do things that we've never done to get to where we've never been.
Yeah.
All right, so 2,000 is not enough.
Exactly.
So that's my 2 cents.
So what is what would be enough for the stimulus?
For the stimulus, I would say a good $5,000 each.
Each? For each person?
Oh, absolutely.
So
we are not.
Can you be president?
So
we are not broke as a nation.
is that for 2 people or is that
No,
for
that's
one
per
person?
person. And plus, if you have children, I would tack on another $2,500. See, we are not broke as a nation. You got to remember that. The United States of America is the most powerful and the wealthiest nation on earth.
So why they act like they broke?
That's because it's special interests. And remember, politics is a matter of resource allocation. Who gets what? Do the billionaire class get the funds, or do the working class get the funds? It's one or the other, and it can't be both.
If you could send hundreds of billions of dollars overseas, then you could give American citizens and taxpayers their fair share.
Absolutely. And it's not, they aren't doing us a favor. This is our money.
Exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
This is tax.
They're supposed to represent us.
These are tax dollars that we paid through, through our paychecks, FICA.
Because you know they definitely want to take that. They want to take every dime.
Oh, absolutely. And that's exactly what.
They give us unemployment, we got to pay taxes on that.
Yeah. So that's another conversation in and of itself. So
And people with student loans and everything.
Oh God! I hope that there's a moratorium and a total relief of all student debt. All right, because it doesn't make sense. There are $1 trillion in student debt right now, and it will be very important for us to, as a nation. And I truly believe the next president is looking into this, canceling all student debt. I mean, that would be a huge move. But that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so when do you think that the stimulus is gonna when do you think the COVID is gonna end?
My friend, I like to say, if you want to give God a good laugh, try to predict the future. I will say I pray that it's over sooner than later. It's been hell on earth for a lot of people. I know of a number of people who did not survive it.
Yes.
Some people have lost family members, not to mention livelihoods or homes or what have you. It's hurt a lot of people. But I am optimistic. We have a vaccine, and that's another issue.
Yeah, oh boy, don't get me started.
They say they got 2 of them, so I don't.
Yeah, but now there's an additional strain. There's a new strain coming out of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So.
What does that mean? It's never gonna end?
All I can say is that we had a playbook. President Obama had a playbook for this. If you guys know, he had a playbook for dealing with any kind of virus And the current president just threw it out the window.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's crazy.
that's crazy. You know, absolutely. So thank God.
Is Donald Trump the worst president ever?
Oh, here we go.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that.
Just do it,
To
man.
be honest with you, you know, I'm sure he's done some things that were good, but I can't identify exactly what that is. I'm going to reserve my comments concerning him.
I understand. Okay, all right. Let's. All right. How about DJ Breeze, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Breeze. About the stimulus,
Yes.
my take on the stimulus is that, first of all, we got one stimulus check when this all began.
In 9 months.
And
Yeah.
then
And other
that's it.
countries
9
have
months
given
later,
them out
they want to
monthly.
give us $600
Shit.
for 9 months. Now, there are people that qualify for unemployment, but there are people that's in between. Like me, I'm retired military, and we make a little bit, but we don't make a lot. So that $600 in between 9 months is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's an insult.
It is.
It really is an insult.
Very true.
You know, a lot of people, their food bill for 2-3 months is more than $600. You know, especially if you have a family.
Especially with a teenage boy.
Oh,
yeah, we know.
Tell me
I
about
live
it.
by myself. I live by myself when I
Oh, you lucky, yeah.
yeah, but I got
And my cat eats a lot too.
I have to cook, I have to make stuff too. So, you know, food is too expensive, man.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, that $600, I hope
It's a joke.
they do a lot better than that. They're talking about $2,000. Thank God for Bernie Sanders. He's
Yes.
such a hero
We
of
love
mine,
Bernie.
and I love Bernie. You know, he is truly a warrior. I heard that he filibustered. That is, you know, for the
Yeah.
$2,000, he would not go home. From Congress. He literally stood there and talked until they all got tired of it and said, okay, we'll give you whatever you want. Just
God.
let us go home. You know, so that's the essence of a filibuster.
And by the way, the new COVID bill, because I looked into it, the Senate and the Congress, they gave themselves a $25 million raise.
Always
That's interesting.
man.
And how much they gonna give us?
$600.
Yeah.
$600.
There's so many. There you go. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
That's why it's so important to
Yeah, I love America.
to elect people that you identify with,
Yeah.
that you respect, number one, and that can have proven themselves. You know, Vero G, you know, I've been the executive director of Green Earth Poets Cafe.
Yes.
It's a nonprofit poetry organization for the past 7 years that utilizes poetry to help increase literacy in at-risk youth.
Yes.
And for 7 years, I would always say at our poetry, spoken word events, at our open mics, at our slams, I would say I'm not a poet. You know, but I have a poetry company. You know, and am I correct? You guys,
Yes.
I would always say, whether we were at the New Year Weekend Poets Cafe or at the Borough Hall or Brownsville Heritage House,
Yeah.
I would say I'm not a poet. So what I have done is found my voice, and my voice is standing up and advocating for people. And that's why I decided to run for the New York City Council. So I have listened to a young brother of mine. I think you probably know him as Blue Poetry.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, he honored me with a comment the other day. He says that I did it the right way in terms of tossing my hat to the ring or running for elected office. He says, you have served the community for years. For years, we took poets with us to Rikers Island Prison.
Yes.
All right, starting in 2014. We started off with like 3 poets. We ultimately ended up with a maximum of say 25 artists. But he said, you know, you did it the way it should be done. You know, you served the community of Brownsville, Crown Heights, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Fort Greene, and then you decided that you would go ahead and toss your hat to the ring, running for elected office. So that meant a lot to me to hear a young brother from Brownsville say that to me. It brought tears to my eyes, and it made me. It showed me that I'm doing things in the right order. You know, you serve people, and then you look to serve them at a greater level.
Yes.
That's why you guys would get that $5,000 if it was up to me.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
We
that
like
works-
you
it works
allowing
for me.
me.
That works for me.
Let's get him in office.
I'll gladly take it.
Deal too much.
But then they need to lower the food too, man. It's too high.
Oh, don't get me started. Jay,
The rent's too
I
high.
got you.
Remember the guy out there in
The
the
rent
truck?
is
The
too
guy
damn
go out
high.
there?
The rent is too damn high. It still is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jay Funkadelic, I'm gonna ask you the same question when you're on here. So
Yeah.
I got you. I didn't forget. I got you.
We got plenty of time today.
Okay, just wanna make sure. So, all right. So I guess Gemini, how do you feel about this situation with the stimulus
For
check?
me,
Yeah.
I mean, look, as long as I'm getting my unemployment, I'm good.
Okay, that's
'Cause
fine.
I'm not working right now,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to build my business and all that stuff for 2020. So, I need money so I can build it.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
Absolutely.
All right.
So we got Curtis Harris here, who's running for the city council. It's 2021.
Do you want me to make the announcement, or you want to do it yourself?
No, I was going to say let's know more about you, sir,
Absolutely.
and what can you bring to New York City
Absolutely.
if
Well,
elected.
Awesome.
Well,
yeah.
it is my honor to sit before you. First of all, I was born in Brownsville, Brooklyn, so I know how to fight.
Oh, there you go. This is it all.
Let's see. I currently live in Crown Heights now, and I was a member of Community Board 8 for about 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
And on Community Board 8, I sat on the Housing and Land Use Committee. I sat on the Police and Public Safety Committee, the Seniors Committee, and the Youth Committee.
Okay.
So for 7 to 8 years, I battled with developers who were trying to build affordable housing.
Yes.
You understand? They say affordable housing. I always say affordable for who?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank
For the
you.
people
That's what I'm
who-
trying to find.
For the people who got,
Yeah.
I guess money, I guess.
No, I ain't
Yeah,
gonna-
but what happens in gentrification, gentrification always results in displacement of people who have been there for years. And gentrification is really a social justice issue. It's more than simply housing or housing people who can afford $2,000 for a studio apartment. $2,000 a month, which is ridiculous. But
True.
the reality is, downtown Brooklyn on Fulton and Flatbush Avenue, 1-bedroom apartment can cost you $5,000 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is real.
Wow.
This
Thank
is
God I
real.
live in housing, because,
This is real.
too much money.
Now,
to pay.
but
tough, man.
now, that affects public housing. You need to understand that, because right now, as the winds of change blow, they're looking to privatize public housing like NYCHA. And we must maintain NYCHA as a public housing resource. Myself, I was born in Brownsville. I lived in the Brownsville projects. More about my story.
Okay.
All right. I served on Community Board 8, 7, 8 years. I went to Medgar Evers College, where I received a bachelor's degree in accounting, and I was elected president of the National Association of Black Accountants. So that was my first real role in leadership. Then after that, I went to Bernard Baruch College, and I got a master's degree in public administration. So I understand a little bit more about what it takes to really be a public advocate, a public official. I'm a father of 6 beautiful children. 3 boys, 3 girls. Boys 14, 17, and 32. Yeah.
Wow.
Girls 23, 30, and 34.
Okay.
And I'm a proud grandfather of a 2-year-old.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So my story, I've already mentioned that I'm also the executive director
Yes.
of Green Earth Poets Cafe and Poetry Theater, which is a performing arts organization. So I am the arts and culture candidate for the 35th Council District, which is, Barclays Center. You have Brooklyn Academy of Music. You have the Botanic Gardens. You have the Brooklyn Museum. This is an arts and culture district, and I would be proud to represent this district. And there will be no better advocate than an executive director of a performing arts organization. for the 35th Council District. You're talking about right down the street, you have Commodore Barry Park, the home of the International African Arts Festival, where they also have Afro-punk. All right, so you're talking about Fort Greene Park, where they have house music all night long. Oh yeah. What is it, Soulful Sundays or whatever they do there. This is a dope district, and there's a multitude of diversity, different races, ethnicities, income levels. There are people who are unemployed, there are people who are millionaires in this district. So I want to be able to advocate for each and every individual, regardless of your place in life. I truly believe I will fight for your interests, no matter what those interests are. They can be maintaining Fort Greene Park. They can be advocating for additional food, for food pantries, where, by the way, I've been able to volunteer during the week during this pandemic. I do volunteering work, distributing foods, and also cleaning up parks. So we all got to pitch in at this point right now. But that's basically my story. I'm a candidate for New York City Council, as I mentioned before, the 35th Council District. My website, once again, if you want to volunteer or donate, because God knows we need both and we can appreciate it, is www.curtisharris2021.com. So once again, website to join our movement. We have a grassroots movement, and I'm very happy to say out of 9 candidates, our campaign came in 2nd place in total fundraising.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
And we are not an establishment candidate.
Yeah.
I've never worked for the city council. I've never worked for the public advocate.
Yeah, it's the first time.
I've worked first-time candidate, but people know of me. People know of my service. People know of my advocacy. People know of my fight, as I said before.
You're a pillar of the community.
Well, I like to think that I listen. I listen to what your needs are. And I am no better than anyone, and I am no worse than anyone. I will fight for our young at-risk youth with free poetry workshops like we used to do in Brownsville, okay, and in Crown Heights, Saturday afternoons, we do free poetry workshop with senior citizens. We teach them how to write poetry and how to actually publish a book.
I love it.
So we published 3 books so far with our seniors. We've been working with them for like 3 years. So that's what I have been doing. I've been working with our youth. I've been working with our seniors. I've been working in our community, trying to help us. And now with this pandemic, we all have to roll up our sleeves and get busy.
See, that was another question I was going to ask you. It's like, how did you manage during this pandemic and everything that's been happening? And with just itself with people, like I said, passing away, unfortunately, and just trying to put the glue together with the community. How have you been dealing with that?
Well, I retired April 30th after 45 years as an accountant.
This year?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank you, sir. Corporate accountant for 45 years. And at that point, I got busy going down to my local food pantry and helping out.
Awesome.
I wanted to make sure that I could help in any way whatsoever. We were facing this pandemic, and it was scary like hell. I know of a lot of people who lost loved ones, who didn't make it, and some are still struggling. So my heart and my prayers go out to them. I'm not going to mention by name, but I know someone who lost 8 family members. Wow. To this deadly virus. So of course, it was difficult for me because number one, we have to get out there and engage the public. Right? We have to get out there and engage the public. Try to meet people, get donations, talk to people, share your vision. And there's a pandemic. No one wants to talk to you.
Well, that's true.
I mean, they could talk 6 feet.
Yeah, you can hold it.
6 feet or 10 feet.
And that's what we were doing. So we were making face mask distributions. as you see.
Okay.
All right, at various locations, and that's how we would meet people. We would maintain a healthy distance, and we would have, of course, hand sanitizer,
Yes.
and our tables set up with voter registration forms, and we would basically hand out these face masks with our literature attached to it, so that people can get to know us. But it is a challenge. It really is a challenge because, people are afraid. Business community has been turned upside down.
Yes.
Having to build outdoor facilities now.
Yeah,
in the streets.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of money.
If you think about it, it's turned our lives upside down. Not to mention the businesses that have gone out of business.
Oh gosh.
A number of them have already done that.
I know.
So these are some of the challenges that I had right out the box. But I'm very, very happy that I was very diligent about getting to know people, especially along my block, in my building.
Exactly.
If you don't know people on your block and in your building, you have no use going out into the general public trying to run for anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to start where you are.
Exactly.
So I became a elected member of county committee of the Democratic Party, Kings County Committee. I represent the 57th AD, the Assembly District, and the 68th ED, the election district,
Okay.
which is basically like a block captain.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's
Good work.
Yeah, it's called county committee.
Ah.
So I'm a member of the Kings County Democratic Party county committee as well. So in addition to, of course, being executive director of an arts organization, being involved in my community board, being an accountant for 45 years, because we're going to need financial professionals
Yes.
who can evaluate a program or policy in City Hall to determine, does this make sense? Because right now, our city, and I'm sorry to be long-winded, our city is $9 billion in the hole.
Wow.
No,
That's a lot of money.
The budget for New York City is $92 billion. Billion with a B.
Wow.
All right?
Yeah.
We're starting off, like, theoretically, if we were, in the black, as they say, we would have $92 billion in expense and $93 billion in revenue. All right? But we're starting off at $92 billion and like 80 billion, just 80 something, 83, 84 billion in revenue. So we're already in the hole because of this pandemic. Our state is in a worse position where the state of New York is in a $20 billion deficit. So we got to get creative. We have to continue to balance the budget. We have to defund the police. All right. We have to cut that budget by more than $1 billion. See, the budget that was just passed, okay, talked about cutting it. But what they did was really a shell game. You know that 3-card Monte game?
He knows about that.
Remember 3-card Monte? Okay, that's all that was done. They shifted around a little bit of money. But the reality is that we have to reallocate certain resources for the benefit of us all, and not simply for a few. And if you were aware of what happened, over the summer, you see that the police definitely need to be reimagined.
They just, wow.
Policing needs to be reimagined, and I'll say that lightly. Reimagined.
I definitely have to ask you this one
I
question.
wanted to be a cop too when I was younger.
Oh, that's not
okay, we started.
No, look, I am not against the police, brother. You need to understand that. One of my best friends, I grew up with him in Cambridge Heights, Queens, all right? After Brownsville, Brooklyn, my family moved out to Queens. He and I grew up together. He happened to be chief of the New York Police Department. I'm not going to tell you his name, but if you know chief of the department, he's retired.
Okay.
But, all right, but he was my good friend.
Wow.
Good friend. I'm not against police per se. I have some friends who I went to college with who are police officers, and they're pretty decent people. But the system as a whole.
Ooh, that's a, see, I was gonna ask you this one question, and I have to ask you.
Oh, please.
Okay, so I'll make a show to you. But my thing is, how do you feel about police brutality? The fact that, with the Black Lives Matter situation movement and everything that's, and then you said you have a friend who was retired, at the time he was in force. But my question, how do you feel about that? And when, tell the people now who's listening now and who's streaming everywhere else, what change would you make if you become 35th, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
yeah.
The council member?
Yes.
Well, the first thing, I'm not sure you know, but in May of this year, I held a town hall on Zoom. And the title of the town hall, actually I did like 2 or 3 town halls, but one of them was called Police Brutality in the Age of COVID-19. And it was about the police being used to tell people to wear their masks, as social interventionists. And in our communities, in the black and brown communities, they don't ask politely. So you see on the news, you see a lot of young brothers being wrestled to the ground, and all, everything else that goes along with that. It's really heartbreaking. So first of all, I think the police in that situation were incorrectly used. Police are there to capture criminals. If you commit a crime, the police should be there to handle that. The effective functioning of the NYPD is so important. We have to identify what jobs, what opportunities, what positions, or what functions a police officer should be involved in or should not be involved in. As an example, if you have someone who is having a mental health crisis, do you want to send the police there who has lethal capability? I say no. Say send a health professional, someone who knows how to deal with mentally unstable people and can help them come down in their crisis. So that's one way. So there are a host of different ways that we can utilize the police. Another issue I'm seriously looking into is community policing. We need to have a partnership between NYPD and the community per se.
They used to do that with PAL years ago.
I
I remember
that.
that. And they canceled it because of funding.
I was in that too.
Yeah,
I was in when I was young. I was doing boxing and stuff.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that, man.
See, I remember going to school in junior high school, and there was one police officer there. There were no, but we got along. He took us to basketball games.
Oh man!
Not where I was.
It was that kind. Yeah. It was a lot. It was long before your time.
Oh man!
So remember that. so it was during the ABA. Do you remember the ABA?
No.
See what I'm saying? The ABA, it was before the NBA.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Don't talk about sports now. That's another story.
But my point is that there was a time where we really interacted with police in school on a very healthy level. Unfortunately, things have taken a turn for the worse.
Yes.
And it's because there's a certain culture that has been unleashed. And I think, number 45 had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
So how did they get back to it?
It takes leadership. First of all, I think with the correct, the right mayor of the city of New York, and I'm going to plug my candidate, who is the Honorable Eric Adams.
Okay.
I truly believe that he is the best thing that ever happened to New York City, and he will be a fantastic mayor. He was a police officer for 22 years. And one thing that you understand about that, he created this organization called 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care.
Wow.
And this was during a time where police brutality was going through the roof.
Yeah.
So Eric Adams, and of course he's not paying me to say this about him.
No.
Okay, I just want
No cheap plugs.
But he is someone who I've studied, and then after that he was a state senator. And then, as you know, he is our Brooklyn Borough president. So he's paid his dues. There's no individual better qualified, in my opinion, than Eric Adams for mayor of New York. This is someone who understands, who has a very interesting perspective on all issues. And I mean, I follow his lead, and I'm always interested in listening to what he has to say. He's a problem solver. You know, and that's what I aspire to be myself. Because right now we have a lot of I say challenges.
Yeah.
We have a lot of opportunities.
No, wait a minute. Like you said, we have Obama. He started just breaking those barriers down, and it's not going to be overnight. Everybody knows this, right? But it takes now another person, like you said, and like yourself. You know, we just got to keep breaking those barriers down, especially in that kind of the system, like you mentioned.
It's systemic. The police is systemic. So that's just one thing I would recommend in terms of changing the culture, the NYPD. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, they pretty much did pretty much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, listen, guys, please let people know where to vote for you. All that sort of
The election is June 22nd, of course.
Oh, that's my birthday.
2021. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah.
June 22nd is the election, but there will be, of course, early voting starting around June 10th or so.
Okay.
But right now, we need volunteers. We need people who identify with our vision and with our mission. And once again, please reach out to my website. It's www.curtisharris2021.com. Please go there. You can volunteer. You can host a meet and greet. You can join our movement, and most importantly, you can donate. We participate in the city's matching program. So the city will give us $8 for every single dollar donation from a New York City resident. But you have to be a New York City resident. So if you give us the minimum donation $10, you give us $10, that $10 donation is going to be $90 to our campaign.
Awesome.
So that's the matching program. And the maximum amount of money that you can spend in any particular election year is $190,000.
Oh, okay.
$190,000. They have certain limits, contribution limits. They have spending limits,
Okay.
and the city is trying to make electoral politics a lot friendlier, trying to make it fairer, where you don't have to have corporate money. Or real estate developers supporting you. You understand? They're trying to make it easy for the little guy like myself to compete in electoral politics. So I'm a grassroots individual, and I'm a lot of my supporters are unemployed, retired, senior citizens, just run-of-the-mill average people. So we still came in second place, mind you.
That's awesome.
That
speaks volumes, yeah.
So I'd like to thank those donors and potential donors. I'd like to thank you for your support. We look forward to engaging you and to being your voice in City Hall.
Thank you so much, Curtis. Guys, again, Curtis Harris in the building. He's the candidate for City Council for 35th District in Brooklyn. Listen, vote for him next year, guys, please. He's an amazing. I'm vouching for him. I vouch for him because I know him personally, and he's an amazing individual. So give him a shot, guys. Go vote for him, please do.
Thank you, Vero. Diva and Diamond.
Yeah, Diva and Diamond. Whatever you want to call it, whatever works, right? as they say. So you're welcome.